The year is 1923. The world is still recovering from the Great War. The scars of conflict run deep, both physically and emotionally. Nations are grappling with economic instability and political uncertainty. It is a time of great change and even greater upheaval. From the ashes of war, a new world order is struggling to emerge. But this is not a story of despair. It is a story of resilience, of innovation, and of enduring hope. It is the story of 1923. The year began with a sense of cautious optimism in some quarters. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, had officially ended the war, but its terms had sown the seeds of future conflict. Germany, burdened by reparations and territorial losses, was a nation in turmoil. In Russia, the Bolsheviks had consolidated their power, but their revolution had come at a terrible cost. The United States, having emerged from the war as a global power, was reluctant to become entangled in European affairs. Against this backdrop of uncertainty, the events of 1923 would unfold, shaping the course of the 20th century. It was a year of both triumph and tragedy, of progress and setbacks. It was a year that witnessed the best and worst of humanity. And it is a year that continues to resonate today, nearly a century later. This is the story of 1923, a year that shook the world. The world in 1923 was a world in transition. The old order had been shattered by war, and a new one was struggling to take its place. It was a time of great uncertainty, but also of great opportunity. The events of 1923 would help to determine the course of the 20th century, for better or for worse. On September 1, 1923, at 11:58 a.m., disaster struck Japan. A massive earthquake, later known as the Great Kantō earthquake, devastated the Kantō plain, which included Tokyo and Yokohama. The earthquake, measuring 7.9 on the Richter scale, lasted for an agonizing 10 minutes. Buildings crumbled, fires raged, and the ground itself seemed to liquefy. The devastation was widespread and horrific. Entire neighborhoods were reduced to rubble. Fires, fueled by wooden buildings and broken gas lines, swept through the ruins, incinerating everything in their path. The official death toll was estimated at over 140,000, with many more missing and presumed dead. The earthquake and its aftermath left an indelible mark on the Japanese psyche. The immediate aftermath of the earthquake was chaotic. Rescue efforts were hampered by the scale of the destruction and the breakdown of communication and transportation networks. Survivors were left to fend for themselves amidst the ruins. Adding to the horror, the earthquake unleashed a wave of violence and fear. False rumors spread that Koreans were poisoning wells and looting. This led to a wave of vigilante violence against ethnic Koreans, known as the Kantō massacre. Thousands of Koreans were murdered or lynched by mobs fueled by fear and prejudice. The Great Kantō earthquake was a defining moment in Japanese history. It exposed the country's vulnerability to natural disasters and the fragility of its social fabric. The earthquake and its aftermath also highlighted the dangers of prejudice and the need for social cohesion in times of crisis. While Japan reeled from natural disaster, Germany was grappling with its own set of crises. The nation was still reeling from its defeat in World War I and struggling to cope with the harsh terms of the Treaty of Versailles. The German economy was in shambles, burdened by war reparations and a crushing national debt. Political extremism was on the rise, fueled by resentment towards the Weimar Republic, which many blamed for Germany's humiliation. In this climate of anger and instability, a charismatic but dangerous figure emerged: Adolf Hitler. A decorated veteran of World War I, Hitler had joined the fledgling National Socialist German Workers' Party, better known as the Nazi Party. On November 8, 1923, Hitler and his followers, inspired by Benito Mussolini's recent rise to power in Italy, attempted to seize power in Bavaria in what became known as the beer hall Putsch. The Putsch, launched from a beer hall in Munich, was poorly planned and quickly suppressed by the Bavarian authorities. Hitler was arrested and sentenced to 5 years in prison for treason, though he would serve less than a year. While the beer hall Putsch was a failure, it proved to be a pivotal moment in the rise of the Nazi Party. Hitler used his trial to gain national attention and to propagandize his message of nationalism, anti-Semitism, and resentment towards the Treaty of Versailles. Meanwhile, the German economy continued its downward spiral. In 1923, Germany experienced hyperinflation on an unprecedented scale. The value of the German mark plummeted, wiping out savings and plunging millions into poverty. People were forced to carry wheelbarrows full of cash to buy basic necessities. The economic chaos further eroded faith in the Weimar Republic and created fertile ground for extremist movements like the Nazis. The year 1923 was a year of political upheaval not just in Europe but across the globe. The old world order, already shaken by World War I, was further destabilized by revolutions, coups, and ongoing conflicts. In Britain, the general election of 1923 resulted in a hung parliament, with no party winning an overall majority. The Conservative Party, led by Stanley Baldwin, formed a minority government with the support of the Liberal Party. This marked a shift in British politics, as the Liberal Party, once a dominant force, continued its decline. In Greece, King George II was overthrown in a military coup led by Nikolaos Plastiras. The coup was the culmination of a period of political instability and military defeats in the Greco-Turkish War. The monarchy was abolished, and Greece was declared a republic. The Treaty of Lausanne, signed in July 1923, officially ended the Greco-Turkish War. The treaty led to a massive population exchange between Greece and Turkey, with over 1 million Greeks forced to leave their homes in Turkey, and hundreds of thousands of Muslims displaced from Greece. In Morocco, the internationalization of Tangier created a unique political entity. The city, strategically located at the entrance to the Strait of Gibraltar, was placed under the joint administration of France, Spain, Britain, and several other countries. The Tangier International Zone became a hub for international diplomacy, espionage, and intrigue. These were just a few of the many political shifts and conflicts that unfolded in 1923. It was a year that highlighted the volatility of the post-war world and the challenges of building a lasting peace. Throughout history, innovation has been the driving force behind human progress. From the invention of the wheel to the creation of the internet, each breakthrough has paved the way for the next. In the 19th century, the Industrial Revolution transformed societies, introducing machinery that could produce goods on a scale never before imagined. It was a time of rapid change, and with it came new challenges and opportunities. As we moved into the 20th century, the pace of innovation only accelerated. The development of electricity, the automobile, and the airplane revolutionized how we live, work, and travel. These advancements brought the world closer together, shrinking distances and connecting people in ways that were once thought impossible. Today, we stand on the shoulders of these giants, benefiting from their ingenuity and vision. The digital age has ushered in an era of unprecedented connectivity and access to information. From smartphones to artificial intelligence, modern innovations continue to shape our world in ways we are only beginning to understand. As we look to the future, it's clear that the spirit of innovation will remain a cornerstone of human achievement. Each new discovery builds upon the last, propelling us forward into a future filled with endless possibilities. The Roaring Twenties, often remembered for its jazz music, flapper culture, and economic prosperity, left an indelible mark on American society. This era, characterized by a sense of optimism and modernity, saw significant social and cultural changes. But, it wasn't just all glitz and glamour. The decade also set the stage for future economic challenges culminating in the Great Depression. Its legacy, however, continues to influence our culture and lifestyle even today. Sports in America reached new heights during this period, with iconic moments at Yankee Stadium and thrilling NFL championship games. The passion and excitement of these events captivated millions, creating legends and unforgettable memories. These sporting milestones not only entertained but also united communities, fostering a sense of shared identity and pride. The darker side of this era cannot be ignored. America grappled with racial violence and political scandals that revealed deep-seated issues within the nation. These events, often shocking and tragic, highlighted the urgent need for social and political reform. They serve as a poignant reminder of the ongoing struggle for justice and equality in the American story. Looking back, it's clear that this period was a pivotal year in American history. The highs and lows, the triumphs and tribulations, all contributed to shaping the nation's path forward. Reflecting on these events helps us understand the complexities of our past and, hopefully, guides us toward a more informed and compassionate future.